All right, here we are with the Generous Gardeners of generousgardenerscom. Just launched when?
Last week.
Last week. Why don't you introduce yourselves?
Hello, I'm Susan Kelly. I live in Gloucester.
And I'm Terese O'Connell. I want to live in Gloucester, but I'm from Andover.
From Andover. And you are a, what would you call it, an amateur recreational gardener?
Yes, I am an amateur gardener, but obsessive.
With a passion for it.
Yes, yes.
And you have a background in professional gardening.
I do. I was an estate gardener in the Merrimack Valley and a master gardener for Massachusetts Horticultural Society. And I am passionate about perennials and plants.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot, everybody has their passion. And you guys, we had a little conversation earlier, and I could see how much passion you guys have for your plants.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the launch of Generous Gardeners, the idea behind it, and what people can do.
Okay. Well, the idea is that gardeners have been swapping and sharing and donating plants to each other forever. And we thought it would be a great idea to create a website that facilitated that process and allowed people to be generous gardeners to more people than just their small circle of friends. And heaven forbid, all the plants that end up on compost heaps because there's no room in the garden or there's nobody to take them, that these could be donated or swapped or sold even. The idea is people can also make some money out of their backyard if they have plants that need to be divided. Everybody has a potential inventory, so one of our taglines is, what's your garden worth? Because there is value in the plants. But it's also, we're trying to facilitate charitable plant sales. And the idea is that gardeners could take plants from their backyard, divide them, donate them to a charitable plant sale, and then the proceeds, if 100% of the proceeds go to the charity, then they could get a tax deduction for the value of the plants.
Wow.
And we did this last year for a plant sale benefiting the Gloucester Education Foundation.
Right.
And we raised over $2,000 with plants donated by 18 Gloucester gardeners.
Wow.
And that was just in one morning.
That was one Saturday morning.
I remember we did the interview. I didn't realize you raised that much money.
Yeah, we raised that much money.
That's fantastic.
And so everybody, I got a nice tax deduction for the plants that I would have been donating anyway. And so that was nice. So it worked out really well. We're doing that again this year.
Now, do plants multiply?
They sure do.
They sure do.
And they need to be divided.
And they also volunteer themselves. Yeah. Sometimes you're pulling things out like weeds that are actually really perennial plants. And so when I find volunteers, they're called volunteers, in your garden, very often people just, dig them up and treat them like weeds. I stick them in a pot and voila, there's another perennial for somebody else.
So how does the website, generousgardeners.com, how does it work?
So users go there and they need to register. It's completely free. Without registration, they can search the plant database. So they can look up, we have about 300 plants in there, how to propagate and maintain some of the more common perennials. And then if they've registered, then they have the ability to list plants. And again, it's completely free to list plants for donation or for swapping. If you want to list a plant for sale, it's 25 cents per month per listing. And you can list 1,000 daylilies for 25 cents if they're the same plant,
seems like
plain type. So, yeah, we're not looking to make money right now. We're just looking to get lots of eyeballs on the site and hopefully a lot of users, because we need a lot of content there so that people will find stuff. And it's tied into Google Maps. So when you register, you put in your address. And so then when you search for listings, it finds the listings that are physically near you. Yeah. Because the idea is we want to have a lower carbon footprint, not ship plants, especially not across state lines, because that is actually illegal in a lot of states. And it can spread insects and diseases. So we really are trying to keep it local. So it's, trying to keep, a local plant sharing envivironment. So, but you can expand it. You can expand it to the whole
Google Maps is very interactive.
Right.
If anybody's used it before, it's very.
So you basically decide if you want to search 20 miles or 40 miles, and if you just remove your address, you can search the whole country. So, and so you can search for listings, enter listings, and that's basically the main functionality now. We have some ideas for new things that we're going to be adding in the future. Right now, we're trying to keep track of plant sales, and we're putting that in our blog. Any plant sales we hear about. So if anybody is running a plant sale for local charity or for anything,
free listing,
they get we'll list it on our blog.
And garden tours also.
And garden tours also. So, and we'll be blogging. So why don't you tell them about the blog?
We've started a blog. This is new to us, the
Yeah.
social media aspect, but we're blogging now and telling people about maintenance and propagation techniques and just what's going on in the local area. Tomorrow we're traveling to the Hartford Flower Show and the Providence, Rhode Island show. So
All one day?
We
taking
will
lots of
take lots of
pictures.
pictures.
Yes.
And that'll be on the blog?
Yes.
Yes.
Ah, very cool. And do you have a Twitter account too?
Yes,
We
we do.
And Facebook.
And
Yes,
Facebook.
we do.
Crushing it. You just, these young ladies are just crushing the social media.
We're learning it.
Yeah, it's a steep learning curve for me, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, but this is like a one-stop clearinghouse of this type of. Well, you said it best when you said Craigslist for plants.
Craigslist for plants. Yeah, it's not like Amazon. There's no financial transaction on the site between people. But you can message when you have a listing. If somebody's searching the listings and they find a plant that they're interested in, they can message the lister.
Yep.
So the lister stays private and then whoever's interested in the plant would then give their outside email or contact information for the lister to then contact so they can arrange maybe a drop-off or meeting place to trade their plants.
Wow.
So
It's amazing.
we think it's a cool idea. We think people have been doing it for forever and it's just
no one's organized it online.
And we could do it. I don't think anybody within the industry couldn't really do this because it's kind of breaking the norm.
Yeah.
So it had to be somebody from outside the industry doing it because we don't have any ties to people who actually are growing plants for retail.
It's like the democratization of the plant.
Right.
For
Exactly.
plant
It's
users.
like file sharing for plants.
Yeah, it's great. But it's so smart. I mean, because so much of this,
With a Dropbox for plants.
it's like upcycling too. You know what I mean? Like this excess. Your stuff is multiplying. Your garden gets out of control,
Yeah.
and there's people that would love to have these.
And people
things.
who can't afford to buy them or don't know anything about it. And then you get to know gardeners in your area too. We think it could be, facilitate socializing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, are you going to do your plant sale again?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it going to be for GEF?
It's for GEF, yep. It's for Gloucester Education Foundation. 100% of the proceeds will go to Maggie. And she'll help us out. She's terrific. Maggie Rose is terrific. It's going to be, May
19th.
May 19th. And it's going to be at
Stage Ford Park.
Stage Fort Park. And there's free parking because it's the week before Memorial Day. So the parking fees haven't kicked in yet.
And is the farmer's market then too?
That hasn't started.
I don't think it starts.
That doesn't start until later.
Till later, yeah. So that's great. Well, what we'll do is we'll promote this on Good Morning Gloucester. Obviously, we'll put a nice link up there for you, and when you have your new events and stuff like that, we'll also put that on there for you.
Great.
Is there anything you guys want to add?
I just want to thank Gloucester because the original Generous Gardeners are from Gloucester. Last year at the plant sale, we
Our
had-
18
the original Generous Gardeners.
So.
Well, we gotta get you to move up here.
My husband has 10 more years before I can move here.
Get out of Andover. There's no ocean in Andover. What's the matter with you?
There's no view.
There you go. Well, thanks for coming down, ladies.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.